Hello, welcome to my diary. I'm Tatami. Here I talk about whatever I want to, and today I wanted to show another one of my favorite decks of all time. This one's for my people of Afro-Latino origin or Latino origin or Mestizo origin or what have you, who want to connect with the ancient, with the ancestral spirits of the South America realm. And I say that because this person absolutely, whoever wrote this, Peter something, somewhere it's written, he definitely mixed up a lot of the cultures. However, there were a lot of similarities, a lot of things shared. They shared writing systems, they shared a lot of cultural values. So there's, not a lot of offense taken, in my opinion, as somebody who finds there aren't that many decks centered around this culture that also are in English, that are also, you know, um, they're very different. It feels very different, should I say. It says Maya, but there's a lot of Aztec elements. It's called Xultún, which is, I'm pretty sure, a Guatemalan word. I see a lot of people call it Zoltan. Um, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be Xultún. I think that's how you say it in Guatemala. So, anyway, who knows? Who knows which one of us is saying it right? He decided to name it something crazy because he knew all of us English speakers couldn't say it. So, you know what I'm saying? He knew, even though he was he was going to publish it in English. So it's a beautiful deck. Full disclosure, I do not have the book. There is a book that you have to buy separately, and it's got this gorgeous purple cover, and it's called The Flight of the Feathered Serpent. I'm pretty sure it's just lovely, but sadly, I am not able to afford just random frivolous things right now. So that will have to wait. So it's a really beautiful box. As you can see, it immediately takes you in. It immediately, like all the other boxes, my kids are just shouting away. I don't know what they are doing. Anyway, it's really nice. It's even well thought out, in a lot of these beautiful ways. It's well thought out. It's lovely. And it says it has 22 major arcana cards, 56 minor arcana cards. Oh, and here's his name, Peter Ballin. He's the thing is this deck, though, it says that it's like major arcana, minor arcana and stuff, but at the same time, this deck is not set up like a regular tarot deck, and I love it for that reason. It's very much set up in a way where depending on how you draw the cards and whatnot, you're gonna end up with cards that can come together and create a complete picture. And it is amazing. It is amazing, especially if you're somebody who really reads into the symbols, who really can see a whole picture forming. And of course, we have, let me see if we can hold it all up. We have our, usual staffs and swords. Oh, no, sorry. These are all swords. I need to expand myself. Give me 2 seconds. Here we go. We have a staff. Okay. So, you can see how it can all line up and start to really form a picture. So, this deck is just gorgeous. It's beautiful. It really can speak to you in a lot of different ways. So if you're not going to if you don't have enough money to buy it all together at once, because I hear the book is just like a wealth of information about the deck, which can help you read with the deck, but it's not going to be all accurate ass information about like, the culture. You know what I mean? There are other places I would suggest for that. Let me see if I can pull a book off my shelf real quick. There are just like other more accurate. Oh my God. I'm like gonna knock over things. Okay, there are other like just more accurate places you could go to that people tried a little bit harder than Peter did here to get information about the culture, see pictures, see depictions, etc. However, he did put in some efforts, and he did, infuse some of his own stuff, but he also infused some of his mostly, I would say a lot of the stuff is for ours, but it's also, there's that infusion of Eurocentric thought and culture, obviously, because it's a tarot deck. And so I think it's really beautiful though. So let's hop right into it. You have a very tiny book if you don't get the book. And that's the thing, is it's like he gives us you this tiny ass little thing, and then you got to spend all the extra money for a big ass beautiful book that's gonna tell you everything that you need to know. Okay. Anyway, I'm just glad, I think, I don't understand people who get random cultures decks, but I'm like, do what you got to do, whatever. But at the same time, I do think that it's been easy for me to read this deck because, again, I understand like symbolism that's occurring here, and have a familiarity with it. That's, not just studying familiarity, definitely bloodline familiarity, I think affects people, which is why I think, white people with their like, Celtic decks, they really love that stuff. They love their rune decks, and there are some black people who love them, and I think, a lot of that is, that little bit of mixture. We all have like the 10% at least, right? All the black people, even the dark skinned ones here in America, you all have 10% at least, they say. So anyway, let's see here. But I don't think most Americans have 10% at least of, Mayan culture. So I'm not sure what exactly draws them to the deck. But, to each their own. Maybe, I think a lot of people are just deck junkies and just collect, because it can get addicting. So here we go. We've got some cups. And here's what I love is like also you have the different skin tones, but everybody's brown. It's very simple. The artwork starts getting very simple, but you also have the very beautiful colors occurring here. So anyway, I really love this deck. Let me see. So we got a dark skinned person. It's very beautiful. It's very beautiful. And I think it really makes you think. Makes me think. It makes you really think about the situation that you're getting into. It makes you think about what it is that you're trying to. Oh, here's the the card that comes at the front. Makes you consider the situation, consider what's occurring, how you can approach it, what questions you can take. It's like a consultation almost, a consultation with the ancestors, with the spirits, and also I think this is a really earth-centric deck. It's, you see what it's like. It's really connected to the planet, to the earth, to cycles that are occurring. So, what you get here is really simple, down to earth. And I think that, how many of these cards is there? Okay, anyway. I think that it's really helpful. What am I trying to say? It's really helpful if you're trying to connect with the earth, more. If you're trying to think from an earth-centric point of view, because we're so used to thinking in a man-centric point of view, a human-centric point of view, that totally disregards nature because we're better than nature, what have you. Well, however, Christianity and, Western thinking teaches us. And so we get caught up in these cycles where we're just destroying, destructive, and we can't even really remember how to not center ourselves all the damn time. And it leads to destruction of the planet. You know what I'm saying? It leads to overuse. It leads to, and then we want to blame stuff like overpopulation and stuff, but it's like at the same time they say something like 30% of food in each household gets wasted. There's a shit ton of food waste before it even gets to our home because the food markets won't even sell it if it's got a blemish. You know what I'm saying? And so and the food market's got to have like its standard, like we've only got the freshest, we've only got the bestest, we've only got the prettiest fruits, and that's where people go to shop, and the cycle continues. So I think this is a very beautiful deck if you're looking to connect with the earth. I wish that we could find a deck that was Afrocentric, that connected with the earth, with the planet, because I feel like a lot of our decks really are abstract. We've got like the outer space, we've got the galaxies, we've got the spirit realm far off and away. And we've got these fantastical situations that also seem far off and away, such as the Afro Goddess Tarot. What's other ones? We've got like the Adinkra symbols, which is very simple. It's almost like the runes. That's why I really like the Adinkra deck, is because that one is like a rune deck almost. You know what I'm saying? It's that same thing as the symbols. So we have that stuff. That's why I don't get into white people stuff, is because I'm just like, I have that. I have some. I don't need to get into your stuff. I have plenty of stuff that I will never learn in a lifetime of my own. So that's why I'm just very confused. You know, when people get into other people's cultures, I'm like, honey, your culture needs you. It's calling. And you have plenty to learn that you have not at all mastered. So at any rate, I hope that we can end up with a deck about a Sasha dude. If we could get up with an Sasha deck that was just earth-centered, Mother Nature-centered, Father Sky type of centered, you know what I'm saying? If we could get something like that, that focused on earth-centered African spirituality and nature-based spirituality, I think it would be such a powerful thing, because this deck absolutely incorporates the elements, but I feel as though our decks, we get really spacey and abstract. But if we had something so down to earth, I think it would also be really beautiful. But at any rate, this deck fulfills for the time being for me, just because I don't know of that many, but I think it would be really beautiful if there was also more tree decks, more decks that, you know, did focus on nature. I know there's like a bone deck. I've seen some, I'm not sure who made that deck. It's like animal bones, and I love it. It's amazing. I think that will probably be one of the decks I get in the future for sure. But for now, I'm not trying to be a deck junkie. I'm not trying to have like a billion ass decks. I'm just trying to enjoy the ones I have, and even the ones that I don't have, such as my husband's. But at any rate, I highly recommend this deck. I highly recommend the book, even though I don't have it, because I see other people highly recommending it, and I don't see why you wouldn't if you could afford it. It's a really amazing deck, and it's a really amazing way to connect with the indigenous, with an indigenous, trying to be an indigenous centered deck. There's a few things about it that I maybe the book would clarify more, but I looking at it, I'm like, oh, I don't know about that symbolism totally. But there could be something I'm missing, so I'm not going to totally shit talk anything, because I'm missing a huge portion of what could be teaching me about that. So at any rate, thank you so much for watching, and may your ancestors and spirit guides be with you at every crossroads.